Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time, and that whenever and wherever you happen to be in this madcap mayhem, otherwise known as the metaphysical matrix, that you are paying attention to your ascension symptoms and the ascension symptoms of those people around you, and that you're able to tell them, hey, it's okay. That is an ascension symptom. Now, the ascension symptoms that I have been aware of lately are having a sore throat, kind of a scratchy throat, a very swollen throat, as well as itchy eyes, absolutely out of control allergies, even though I have been controlling my allergies with adrenal support pills. I have a couple different kinds. One is homeopathy and one is glandulars. If you know what that is, you know what I mean. It's kind of a naturopathic thing. And I've been taking my vitamins. My allergies should be phenomenal. I've changed my sheets in my bed, and I've taken my bed away from the dusty wall. I've done all the things that you're supposed to do to alleviate allergies, and suddenly out of nowhere, bam, there's allergies again. There's asthma again. So I have noticed that I'm having itchy, watery eyes. Really itchy eyes. It is insane. It just how much it's like I want to just scratch and scratch and scratch my eyes, which is never good. Not for your eyes anyway. And just the wateriness and the swelling of my face a lot more lately at night. Now, we all have a little bit of squishy face syndrome when we wake up, but I think it's been a little bit more for about a week. I wake up and it's like, whoa, that's not what I look like normally. So, the sore throat has been crazy. Water weight, lots of extra water weight. Again, suddenly we are being bombarded with a lot of light energy that is just, it's through the roof, off the charts, whatever you want to say for it. I've noticed, even last night, if you haven't caught the Paramahansa Yogananda channeling yet, you're going to want to do that, trust me. Some new information came through that blew my mind. In fact, I might even write a book about this. I might actually try to interview him more or channel him more and telepath to get more and more details and information, because this could be developed into quite a book, actually. Now, a couple things about the interview last night. During the interview, a big wave came through, lavender followed by kind of a cadet blue energy that I just saw as this massive wave in my room. My vibration had gotten so high speaking with him that I was able to see the plasma when it hit us. First time that had ever happened. Blew my mind. So there you go. That was just woo. And he said that lavender energy was sent to wake people up. Now, I had asked God about my podcast and about the people, all of you that listen, and how many more will I get by the end of August around my birthday. He told me around my birthday, people are going to start waking up massively. And they're going to be hungry for spiritual knowledge, and you're going to get a lot more, like an explosion of listeners. You know, instead of having 100 and whatever I had at the time, now I have maybe 165 or 166 of you are steady listeners that listen pretty regularly. But I mean, on a lot of mine, I'll have like 220 listens, or on one of my episodes, I have 883 listens. So I know a lot more people are interested in the show than the hardcore fans, which are you, most likely, that listen every day. So, but I mean, I was told we're going to have like thousands of new people listening every day, suddenly out of nowhere. And it's going to feel like a sudden explosion. So that's what God had told me like months ago. And, you know, I'm holding the faith, holding steady that this is true, because, you know, I need to support myself with the show. But last night when I saw what I saw, and then Yogananda said, yes, that lavender energy, it was kind of an amethyst purple. And he said that energy is sent from the cosmos to wake us up spiritually. That blew my mind. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of water weight today because I'm holding on to energy that I still need to process and then dissipate. A lot of us light workers, that's literally what we do. We are light holders. We hold the light in our bodies, and this is an ascension symptom. So if you're thin, and all of a sudden you're feeling very overwhelmed, very tired, very allergic and scratchy, and maybe you're having headaches or sharp shooting pain in random places in your body, and then all of a sudden it goes away, but you're holding on to all this excess water weight. What happens with that is it's there, and then you process the energy of it, and you could dissipate it through your feet slowly into the earth. Once you dissipate the energy, suddenly you're going to be like, oh, I don't really need that water weight anymore. That's pretty cool. You know, and then you'll just automatically let go of it. It's like, oh yeah, all right, cool. And some of us hold on to water weight for so many days, it turns into weeks, and suddenly we're like, maybe we're just fat. That's me, I do that. Maybe I'm just fat. Maybe I need to get rid of a lot of the excess fat. And usually 2 or 3 days after I think that, I'll just, you know, pee out all the excess water weight, and all of a sudden I'm thin again. I'm like, oh, all right, well, clearly it wasn't what I thought. But it does make me doubt myself, and I don't think that's an ascension symptom, but it's just a symptom of the society that's closed-minded and unable to see the reality that we've been living for years now. But ascension symptoms, let's see, lower back issues still, problems with hips, lots of problems with hips and muscles, especially muscles in your back where you just feel like someone was pummeling you with their fists throughout your back, like the kidneys area up in the upper shoulder blades. My son was feeling it, I was feeling it, and it's like, it's very weird. It's like, there's no way. I mean, no one beat me up as far as I know. Maybe I was abducted and thrown into a cage match. I don't know what happens on an abduction. I mean, sometimes I think I've, done the nasty with a stranger. I mean, it's not, that's one thing that they do, the aliens. They'll put us through these weird sexual things, and I don't know what the deal is with that. I think it's a reproduction program. And I'm past my prime, so you would think they would know that if that's their specialty. But another weird thing is sometimes I think they put me in a situation where I am physically with my twin flame. And then I wake up and I'm like, that's weird. I'll smell his cologne on my skin. And I just feel like it's him. I know it. I know it's him. And then all of a sudden, I realized I think I was with him, but I've never met him. Never had one conversation. And yet, here's this insane thing that happens. It's been happening to me for years. So, I don't know. The whole alien abduction phenomena, I will be thrilled when that no longer happens. I mean, I honestly, just knock on my door, pour your energy down through the ceiling, become solid like me, let me see you, have a conversation, talk to you. I don't think I'm going to freak out, much. And speaking of much, there's a lot of UFOs, you guys, that have been on social media lately, just really big. It's been some really big things lately. On The View, they did a clip about a UFO, and they were like, you know what? The way things are going on this planet, I believe it's aliens, and I hope they'll come and get me. I'm willing to go now. I will volunteer my services so I could get off this planet. And these are, Whoopi Goldberg, she's the only one, actually. All the other women on The View were like, beam me up, Scotty, basically. Whoopi Goldberg's like, no, God put me here. I'm staying on the planet. Well, I'm with you, Whoopi. I am with you. I've always said, if God wanted me to be born on Mars, or wanted me to be Martian, I would be born on Mars. And the reality is, I was born on Earth, so I'm going to just stay on this planet. Far too many things could go wrong. I've seen all the movies. I've seen all the fictional movies that just seem a little bit too real in some of the scenarios. So, I don't want to go to Mars. I just don't. Mars looks nothing like Hawaii. I don't want to be there. Sorry. So sorry. No, I don't want to go. I just don't. So, I'm trying to think of some of the other symptoms I've been seeing. I kind of sense an energy of completion. I was getting the number 13 randomly in different places for weeks, and number 13 is it's a number of death. It's a number of transformation and change, and I feel like that's what we're going through, is this massive transformation. And we've been going through it for a long, long time, but I feel like there was another breakthrough just recently. If you guys feel it, then this is your confirmation, this is your sign that yes, everything's going to be okay. But the pain is different. It feels different than it has been. It's a different kind of pain, and I'm getting the words, there's a longing. There's a very deep longing to have things the way that you have always wanted them to be. So you're not longing for someone in your past. You're longing for a memory from the future. Like a reverie that will show you like your best, highest self, basically. I mean, what if you could pull that in really quick in a heartbeat? Suddenly, you're a millionaire. Suddenly, you've got a gorgeous house. Suddenly, the love of your life is with you. Suddenly, everything you've ever wanted. You're thin and you're young, and the world is your... I won't say oyster, because oysters are disgusting, but the world is your golden bauble. I don't know. What do you replace oyster with? I don't know. Steak. The world is your steak. There it is. If you're vegan, the world is your vegan steak. The world is your carrot, baby. And you could do whatever you want. You could do anything and everything that you want. I feel like we're at this energy of transformation and breakthrough, and all of a sudden it's going to be, finally it's here. It's going to be the energy of finally it got here. There'll be a knock at the door, you open it up, and there's going to be a giant Princess Funhouse castle-shaped box. And it's going to say, look, your new life has arrived. Oh my God. You open it up, and whatever that looks like for you. There it is inside that box. Probably won't be that dramatic, but I just feel like we're on the breakthrough of everything we've ever wanted. Anything and everything we've ever wanted is on its way to us. In a way that I never felt like before. Like I felt that was true before, but suddenly today it just feels like, oh yeah, sure, it's just right around the corner. Wow, right? How cool. It's really cool that that's probably the truth. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to bring that up. The Ascension symptoms, fading in and out, falling asleep randomly, waking up after 20 or 30 minutes, you feel like you've slept for hours, and all of a sudden another wave hits and now you're exhausted again. That's been a big one for me lately. And Tim, the Cosmic Threader, he is my show tonight. I did an interview with him, and so it's already done. But when we're done with this introduction for the show, I'm going to play that for you guys, that pre-recorded interview. So it's pretty interesting. I mean, we talked about a lot of cool stuff. Phantom cars, breakthroughs, past life, bleedthroughs. Very interesting things. Phantom cars, man, that one kind of threw me for a loop. Talked about gargoyles. He thinks that rat I heard is actually a gargoyle. I would be much happier to know that is a real gargoyle versus like a rat. So you're going to hear that in the interview as well. So yeah, but he was having this yesterday. He told me, he's like, oh my God, I just had another wave of sleepiness come over me. Now and then he's better. And then he's like, oh, there it is again. Wave of sleepiness. I'm having one right now. I'm fighting so I could finish the introduction for you guys. It's a very odd feeling. That where you just feel like everything's normal and all of a sudden, oh no, I've got to sleep now. You just kind of, it's like power down. It's like you're a robot and someone pushed a reset button, right? It's crazy. So I wanted to relay a story that happened right before I ate my inedible, horrible cake yesterday. And ironically, by the way, my son and I both had some of the cake today, and it's really good. I don't know what was wrong with it yesterday, but today it actually tastes very, very good. I don't know what that means. Are we acclimated to it? Somehow we got used to it. It's grown on us like a fungus or a mold. I don't know. But today, actually, it was very, very good. Whereas yesterday was completely inevitable. No, inedible. Made me laugh so hard. It smelled like a foot. I'm like, what? I was laughing so hard I couldn't stop laughing. And today it doesn't smell like that. It's wonderful today. And we were both shocked. And also thrilled because we got, hey, cheesecake. It doesn't really taste like cheesecake. I can't explain what it is that it tastes like, but it's very, very good. All of a sudden out of nowhere. So, but before I ate it, the weirdest thing happened. We have these little lights. If I switch the light switch on in the dining room, there's these 4 lights that are in every corner of the dining room and the living room, which is all one open air. It's all open and it's one room. And these little lights are a very beautiful golden yellow light, like old-fashioned, not like the weird, odd white light bulbs that just make you feel cold and sterile, like bleh, but the nice, warm, glowing golden energy. And there are 2 squares of glass that are beveled and like crystal glass, or like frosted, not crystallized glass, frosted glass. And there's 2 pieces of this, and they're put together with 4 little silver metal rivets. And then that's screwed into the ceiling. And they're really about 3 inches by 3 inches. They're not very big. And there's 4 of them. And it's like this little platform with another one below it. So we're getting ready yesterday to light the candles on the cake. And all of a sudden, there was a bee inside of that. And it started out of nowhere just buzzing like crazy. And it buzzed and buzzed and buzzed. And it started moving around inside that little square. And it let go of all of the dead bugs that apparently had accumulated there. And it snowed dead bugs on the table at the far end of the table, away from the cake, cheesecake. But I just felt like it's a warning. And I even said to my son, I'm like, did you just see that? And he didn't notice it. Like, how did you not see that? It was so super loud. And we have egg crate cartons up against the wall because my son has been doing his YouTube videos, and that absorbs the sound. So we had them up on the walls, because his YouTube video is of him, and so this is on the other side of his camera, so no one can see it, but it dampens the sound a bit. And the bee flew behind there really fast. I'm like, there's a bee, and my son's like, I don't see anything. I think you're hallucinating. And I was laughing so hard. And he was just like, no, it's not really there. Yeah, it's not even true. I'm like, no, it is. And the egg crate carton thing was moving back and forth really fast. I'm like, but it's moving. He's like, it's not moving for me. It must be moving for you. Maybe you better slow down there. And I'm like, I'm not even drinking. I'm not even smoking. And he was laughing and I was laughing. And I was like, the bee is warning us. And that was another funny thing that happened right before we cut into that cake. And it just, well, the rest of the story that happened yesterday. But today was actually really good. And I think I have one little enchilada left, and then we're done with the chicken enchiladas. I mean, that was a lot of food. Man, really good stuff. So, yeah, it's been really crazy. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. The Ascension symptoms, I've been having a lot of pain in my ankle. It's been swollen, but I think it's just, because it's where I broke my ankle. But if you have any injuries, I think that they're flaring up right now. The pain of that arthritis is probably flaring up right now. There's something to do with the eyelids. For me, it's been itchy eyes. And I'm trying to see, is there anything, I'm trying to tap into the collective here. Oh yeah, phantom pain. Suddenly your arm will hurt really a lot out of nowhere. Or your eye will hurt. Or feel like a sharp stabbing pain going through your head. Or a quick headache where you're just like, all of a sudden you're normal, you're fine, and all of a sudden you're overwhelmingly nauseated and in a lot of pain. And in about 10 minutes, you're totally fine again, and you just feel like kind of an idiot. Like, did that really happen? Did it not happen? I don't know. I don't think it really happened. And then you doubt yourself because the headache coming on so strongly feels like it's going to stay for a while. And then when it goes almost right away, it's like, wait, what? Like, it gives you time enough to complain and leaves the minute the complaint is done. And you're like, well, now I just feel like dumb, Maybe it didn't even happen. Maybe I imagined it. But if you have this happen, no, honey, you did not imagine it. It's real. And it's been happening to me for about 3-4 days. So anyway, let's get over to spaceweather.com because I'm going to cut this short a little bit because my interview was really long with Cosmic Threader. So, and I even had to add the end part, which was an extra 7 minutes. So I'm going to try to cut this short just so that you guys can fit it in your normal. I don't even know if you guys are blocking out 2 hours from me. According to, was it Apple Podcasts or iTunes, they're saying that most people listen to me for about an hour and then they don't listen to the full 2 hours. So another reason I wanted to cut it short a little bit today. So, all right, trying to, where are we here? There we go, Chrome, yay. And why is it not opening up? Of course it's not, there we go. I had everything all queued up, suddenly it's not opening, yeah. All right, oh, that was lovely, just having extra. Oh, hey, there we go, guys. Message from Cosmic Threader. He says, I hope that was all right. Kind of all over the map, but good fun all the same. Yeah, our interview was just like we just went from one topic to another. We kept trying to come back to the main topic, and my God, we had so many other things to talk about. So I'm going to have to definitely have Tim back on the show, by the way, because we have a lot to talk about. He's a very interesting person. All right, spaceweather.com, let's just go to it. The solar wind speed right now is 436.9 kilometers per second, so definitely has picked up since yesterday. We are still without a sunspot. It's been 5 whole days. The spiral lights on Mars, there's more information on that again today. NASA's MAVEN spacecraft has discovered a vast spiral of ultraviolet light swirling over the south pole of Mars. A new paper just published in JGR Space Physics explains the chemistry of the aurora-like glow, but not the shape of it. So researchers are still saying that the energetic spiral on Mars remains still a mystery. So very interesting. Right now there is a bright comet plunging towards the sun. They say it's bright and it's doomed. Well, hurl yourself into the sun. You're probably not going to exist much longer, right? So a new comet just discovered by the Solar Heliospheric Observatory, otherwise known as SOHO, is plunging towards the sun, where solar heating will almost certainly tear it apart. So you could go check out pictures of this on spaceweather.com. All right, so the Ulu neutron counts today are considered high, 9.5% of the space age average. And the only reason why it's so high is we're not protected. We're not protected by our own magnetosphere, which is weakening, and we're not protected by the sun's magnetosphere either. So kind of leaves us open and vulnerable to cosmic space radiation. And so that is why we are at a high level right now. So it is what it is, guys. So let's see here. There is solar wind flowing out of the sun, and it's from the northern coronal hole, and they're believing it's going to graze Earth's magnetic field on the 29th of August. Today's the 26th, so 3 days from now, which, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yes, puts us smack dab in the center of our weekend. This is definitely more than coincidence. I'm pretty certain this is a pattern. So, according to the All Sky Fireball Network and NASA's All Sky cameras, they have discovered that today there were 13, here's that number again, 13 fireballs, and 11 were sporadic, 2 were northern Delta Aquarids. So, there we go. Let's see here. Is there anything else? I think that's all that I normally report on this website. Okay, Schumann resonance today is power 45, in Italy, and the other one, they haven't had any updates in over a week. So keep hoping it's going to happen, and then I can keep up or catch up. But so far, nothing's going on. So I don't know. What about that. Okay. Suddenly I'm so super tired, guys. This is so strange. Not at all like me, but very odd. The Schumann resonance, according to disclosurenews.it, is 45 today, 45 hertz frequency. So, Heart Math Institute, nothing for over a week. So, card of the day, collective card of the day. Today the card is, wait for it, freedom. Freedom. There's a picture of a woman holding on to a white dove in her hand. And I'm going to pause this for a second. I had it queued up and now it's gone. So I'm going to go check out what this says so that we can understand more about what this card symbolizes. And now this is from the deck, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck by Victoria Mosley. So it's really pretty deck. So hold on a minute. Let me go look up the guide. Seriously, guys, here I am again in a bad way. It's only 10 o'clock at night, 10:48, and really it's hard for me to stay awake. It's so strange with this bombardment of energy. It's like a plasma wave after plasma wave. So if you guys are going through this, just be a little bit more gentle on yourself than normal. All right, this card, Freedom, according to the Vintage Wisdom Oracle book, this is it. It says freedom. The card depicts a dove in the moment before it is gently released from the hand of a young maiden. In the distance, castle walls symbolize austerity and containment. Their eerie countenance against a darkened sky contrasts with the white dove, which is a symbol of purity. For their ability to transcend continents and borders, birds are living metaphors for freedom of the soul. As divine beings living an ever-changing existence of duality and mortal restriction, the capacity to dream about the possibilities of unlimited freedom is partly what defines the human experience. Yeah, I like that. Possibilities of unlimited freedom. By drawing the Freedom card, you are prompted to review any areas of limitation in your life that may be holding you back. Perhaps you're feeling victimized by unavoidable circumstances or overwhelmed by endless choices. Regardless of what the cards of fate have in store for you, you alone have the freedom to choose how you play them. It is this spiritual freedom that cannot be taken away, and that gives life meaning and purpose. Bear in mind that for every action, there is an equal reaction, and that every freedom does carry responsibility. In the face of doubt, be guided by the higher power to navigate your choices and pray for the insight to use your freedom wisely. So there you have it. That is the Oracle card of the day, basically. I'm going to try to do one every day because it seems super fun and you guys are really enjoying it. So there it is, collective card of the day. Yay! All right, well, that's it. I'm going to take a quick break And when I come back, you're going to hear my interview with Tim from British Columbia, otherwise known as Cosmic Threader, right after this message. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Hello.
Hey, we're here.
We're here. We're on Anchor and we're recording.
Yay. Okay, guys. This is Tim from British Columbia, right?
That's right. Yeah. Beautiful BC, they call it.
Yes, I love it. I love BC. And you are known as the Cosmic Threader, and you have the Metaphysical Gong Show.
Hey,
and
that's me.
also,
yeah, I'm the Cosmic Threader, and I host Wednesday Morning Coffee, available on Spotify and everywhere else. And then I have Gong Show Tarot, which is a crazier project on YouTube.
Okay, I'm sorry. Gong Show Tarot. That sounds amazing. I still haven't listened to it, but I have listened to your podcast, which I like a lot. And I've also
if you want to get to know me better, it's Elena, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. I finally got your name right. I have this thing. So if you watch Gong Show Tarot, there's a series. I think there's 8 episodes. So if you go to the playlist, so you search Cosmic Threader on YouTube and go to the playlist for Gong Show Tarot, and there's 8 episodes there. It's crazy fun. And you'll see that I have a knack for getting people's names wrong on there too.
That's okay. I think it's just interviewers, people who do shows and have interviews. It's just like we always get people's names wrong. I'm always stumbling through people's names. It's pretty crazy.
Are you? Yeah, it's not easy, right? Because we talk to a lot of people, and with your name, I wanted to call you Alana because it looks like it's pronounced Alana, but it's actually Elena.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a bane of my existence since my mother named me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What doesn't kill you, right? What doesn't
Right.
kill you makes you stronger.
Yes, exactly. I did find out, though, if I separate it out and take out the N, al-ana, that means in Arabic, the I am, which is another name for God in the Bible. So, oh my God, that made me happy beyond belief. So,
Oh, interesting. I am. Wow. Interesting.
yeah, right. So I think it was more of a reminder. I wanted to be named this before I was born.
You're making me think of another figure called Saint-Germain. Have you heard of Saint-Germain?
I have actually. I
Yeah,
have.
he had some. I don't know much about it, but it had to do with I am. So you might want to look into that.
Yeah, I will. I'll look into him more. He looks like a very strange version of a friend of mine, so I could never like really get into it because he kept reminding me of my friend.
Interesting. Some people think he was Francis Bacon. Like, he came back several times. He reincarnated as Francis Bacon and Shakespeare and some other influential figures throughout history, including the Count de Saint-Germain. You know, so it's an interesting. Some people really follow it, right? I don't know if there's much to it.
Yeah. The only thing I know about him is the purple or violet flame meditation, which I think is such a beautiful image. I used it a few times. I like it. But the reason why we're talking tonight, you and I, is that you brought up when we were having a conversation, you DM'd me on Instagram, and you said that you have the desire to talk about past life bleed-throughs. So speaking of people with their past lives, you've had connections to some really powerful stories in our history.
Yeah, bleed-throughs are really, really fascinating. And there's something I only became aware of in the last year or so. Interesting.
Well, tell us more. What have you heard about it?
Well, it's more something that I've experienced myself. I walk around, this is going to sound crazy, but maybe not on this show, but sometimes I walk around with a staff. And I've been talking to some others about this. So I have a staff that's made of cedar, and then I have one that's poplar. I really want to get a yew staff.
Oh, interesting. And what do you think this is a bleed through from?
Well, I actually experienced a bleed through as I was walking with this staff. And what it was is it sort of felt like I was walking both in this time and in a time way back, like 500 years or more. And it felt as if I was walking across two fields at once. The field that exists here in this time, and then at the same moment I felt as if I was walking across an ancient field. So that's how I've experienced a bleed through.
That is really strange. My my oldest kid, one time we were standing together in I can't remember what country, I think Colombia. And we were there, and all of a sudden she started looking at the street in a really strange way. And I'm like, what's going on? And she says, I can't explain it, but I'm in Berkeley right now, and I'm also here, and I don't know what the hell, like, how am I in two places at once? But I am. And she saw somebody robbing a store on this one street. Yeah. And she was like, this is weirdest thing. And that's not really a bleed through from another life, but it's still kind of a similar thing where you're like in two places at once and you're 100% aware of both places. And I've had instances where I'm in a town, like in California. I was driving through this weird little town on the way to an eye appointment in Sacramento. And all of a sudden I was somehow transported, and I was in North Dakota where I grew up. And I'm like, this is really strange. And it looked identical to a city I'd been in North Dakota. And then all of a sudden I'm back in California, and I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Wow.
But that's not fun. Yeah. So it's not really bleed through from past life. So I think the bleed through thing can happen in various, capacities. But so tell us more about, so have you had more than just that, more than walking with a staff?
I've had other experiences where now this isn't necessarily a bleed through, but I've been walking along the highway because I like to walk a lot. And I'll see, one time I saw a cyclist that was coming. I sort of looked over my shoulder, and there was a cyclist on what looked to be like an old 10-speed. And I thought, oh, well, that's a really old bike. And I saw him coming down the hill, or her, I couldn't really tell. And then I looked again, and there was no bike there.
Whoa.
So it was almost like, I don't know, have you heard of phantom cars?
Well, explain that more to me.
There's a whole meme on, if you search on YouTube for phantom cars, where cars get into crashes with cars that don't appear to exist. They sort of blink in and out.
Oh my God.
So this was sort of like that, where it was a bleed through from maybe another time or another timeline, where this cyclist was coming along the highway. And for some reason, I caught a glimpse of that other timeline, and then the next moment I looked, and there was nothing there. And it's bizarre, right? Because I haven't experienced a lot of this in my life, where you see things that aren't there, right? It's bizarre.
Right. Now, okay, so now I'm thinking, if you were having bleed throughs, it's possible that when we have something in our energy field, it's because we're attracting it to us based on our emotions at the time, or our level of spiritual understanding, or maybe it's something we need to teach someone else, or we need to learn. So, if that's like how our life is normally, right? And then when you focus on something, you keep thinking about a white dog over and over and over again. Suddenly you see a white dog, you're going to be like, oh my God, I thought about that and I brought it to my existence, which, is a very simplified thing, but or way of putting it. But now if we are bringing bleed throughs from other timelines to us, like, what is your connection to that 10 speed, that person on a 10 speed, even if they're from another parallel universe, if they're from a different timeline, or you were looking into the past and saw a pattern, what did that mean?
I have no idea what that connection is, but I would be fascinated to know. And I'm sure at some point maybe I'll find out. I don't know.
Yeah, like what if that was your mother when she was 16 or something? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know.
I mean, now I just remembered actually too, I did have a bleed through one time, and this is a really weird one. I was newlywed to my first husband when I met my second husband, although at the time he was just someone I knew from school. And I had this overwhelming sense of love for him the second I met him. And I was really attracted to him, and I knew he was the father to my children. It was the weirdest.
And you just knew all that automatically. Wow.
I saw the back of his bald head from across a crowded room, and that was it. It was like, it was just like, okay, so great. There's my one true love, the bald old dude. Like, what the hell?
That's awesome.
And so I was really distressed by it. I was a newlywed and I loved my husband. And here the guy comes into my life and I'm like, who is he? Who is he to me? And I was asking every day. I became obsessed. And one day on the way to going to meet him at hypnotherapy school. We were going to meet 20, 30 minutes early before class so that we can kind of figure out, how do we know each other? Maybe, we have a past life connection. Maybe we have a purpose in each other's lives. I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And as I'm driving in traffic in a suburb of Los Angeles, and I was just driving, I was by myself, and all of a sudden I crossed over a body of water. It was the Sepulveda Dam, and I went over the water, and on this bridge, and I mean bumper to bumper traffic, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I'm transported back to London, England, the week that they got the gas lights, and everybody was complaining because the gas lights were so across the river Thames. The gas lights were so bright, so brilliant, that it was like the first earliest form of light pollution in the area.
Wow. Yeah.
They're like freaking candles. You can't even see that now. But back then, everyone was complaining. It was a big deal. And all of a sudden I remembered, and this is what I remembered. I was a teenage girl, and it was my turn to steal from the fat, ugly old baker down the street. And I knew that if I get caught stealing from him, they would round me up and burn me in the town square. And we were really scared. And we took turns stealing for each other because our parents had died of the plague. And and we were really scared, was my alarm. Okay. So we were really scared, but we took turns, and I had these dirty old skirts, and I had to lift my skirt, not my skirt, but had an apron over the skirt. And I had to lift it up, hold it to my waist, and grab as much bread as I possibly could, holding it in that part of my apron, and race back to him.
Wow.
And then I had another quick little memory of standing there as the lovely ladies with their big wigs and their dresses, they were going by in a horse-drawn carriage, and they looked at me and they laughed at me and pointed at how dirty I was, and they spat on me. Wow. And then as soon as I had that memory of being spat on, I got angry, and then all of a sudden I was again in my car driving bumper to bumper traffic, and I'm like, how the hell did that happen? How did I not get into an accident?
So you've experienced where you actually feel like you go all the way back into that other time. Yeah.
You're
there.
Yeah, I was full. And when I told him this, he just looked at me and he said, that's a memory I have had for a very long time. And I said, well, where were we staying? And he said, it was a tavern of a little, a little lady, basically, who took in all the urchins, and she ran the bar. And when the men went home after they got drunk, she would let us into the tavern, and we were allowed to sleep in there. And then after a while, she died, and we still just stayed there. Completely crazy, right?
It sounds nuts, but more and more people are having these experiences, and I've been told that I'm somehow connected with the Merlin myth or story or reality, however you want to see it.
Right. Well, he was Emrys was a real man. He didn't live at the time of King Arthur, but I've interviewed him. I don't know if you went and listened to the interviews yet, but he has given me some of his secrets of magic. Yeah, and how he did potions, what he did. He's explained it, so I can't even remember, because usually I'm in trance when I do this, and then I forget the next day. And
because you're a channeler for people tuning in the first time. You channel, entities. You channel people from the past, all kinds of things. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, I've channeled God and the sun and the moon. Yesterday, Paramahansa Yogananda came through, and I asked God, who do you want me to channel tonight? And usually I get an answer, and sometimes it's Jesus, sometimes then it's Ascended Master, and I've channeled Art Bell and Robin Williams. So it just depends.
It's really amazing, and I want to go back and I want to listen to those Merlin ones. I think you have 3 episodes. Is that correct?
I think maybe even 4, actually.
I started listening to 1 and then I fell asleep because I've been extra sleepy lately. But
me too. It's been the Ascension symptoms. I mean, in the middle of my show yesterday, all of a sudden I couldn't speak, and I was really, I got overcome with emotion, and I got really tired. And all of a sudden I looked at the farthest part of my bedroom, and all of a sudden I felt this wave, and I saw it, this lavender energy followed by a blue energy. And I asked Paramahansa Yogananda, what's that? And he said, the lavender energy is to raise everybody's spiritual consciousness at this time and to awaken the sleeping ones right now. And I've never seen energy waves like that in my life. It just happened yesterday.
Yeah. Now, do you, Elena, do you identify as being a starseed? Yeah.
I do. I mean, I'm a lot of different things. I am, this sounds weird, but I am the angel of death.
Yeah, you
original.
said that you're Azrael, is that right?
I am Azrael, yes. I am. And yeah, when I first was told that, I was like, okay, this guy is smoking some crazy weed. I want some.
Get me some of that stuff. Yeah.
Right. But when I first explained to my children that that's who I am, and I watched their reaction, and they say that my eyes turned absolutely solid black, like an alien. And then I had a dark energy behind me, like my wings were black, and it kind of scared them. And they were like, whoa, like they couldn't, my oldest can be around me for like an hour after that. Like she was like, wow, I think this is true.
Frightening,
you know, and then
is that frightening for you to know that or to have that feeling?
Now it's not, but in the beginning it was. In the beginning I was like, what the actual hell? And I started remembering all the times I've taken pictures of myself when my eyes were completely black. And one time I got a picture of myself where my eyes were getting ready to turn completely black. And where like only half my eye was black and the other half still had the white part. And I sent that to a friend of mine who owns or runs a UFO group. Because, you know, I always feel like angels and demons and the ET, it might all be connected. I think the ETs literally come from off-world. And I believe that there are a lot of archangels walking among us now, including myself. And I have met the archangel of chaos. He was somebody I dated. He was my massage therapist in Lima. And he was an archangel of chaos, and I knew it when I met him. It was like I just recognized him, and we had this instant love for each other. I mean, like from the moment we met, but I knew I didn't have a past life with them. So it was like, wow, this is kind of odd. And later we had a conversation, and he's like, oh yeah, he says, we are in this moment living in love together. We are reflecting love of God. And when he said that, I was like, I kind of saw his white angel wings, and I'm like, oh, he's an angel.
Wow, interesting.
You know, so I mean, you talk about bleedovers from another, bleedthroughs from another life. I mean, half the angels that are on earth right now chose to fall, based out of hubris and arrogance, and the other half, we were asked by God to fall to earth, to this plane of existence, to kind of keep an eye on the demons and to see what they're up to, because we knew they were going to start messing with the humans, basically. That's the way it was explained to me.
Well, and I think I get a really strong sort of Andromedan feel from you. Yeah, because I think you've been there. Like, I think you've been to Earth quite a bit as well. But I get the sense that you've been to Andromeda.
Oh, I've been there forever. Yeah, I've been here since almost the very beginning. I mean, a lot of people will recognize me and like say, I know you're an angel. And it's like, part of me thinks that's just a cheesy pickup line. And,
Well, it could be, right? It could be.
Some of it, but
yeah.
it could be. And then other men are like, no, there's something weird about you. Like, you really are like an angel, and I don't understand, but I know I love you so much, and you're meant to be with me. And I'm like, no. And it did dawn on me. I'm literally reflecting the love they have for God back to them. And so they think I am their one.
Right.
They think that,
so they mistake sort of this angelic love for romantic love. Yeah.
Right, because they've never experienced anything like that before, and it's hard to explain to them. Like, no, it's because I'm a former archangel. I'm a human now, but I still have that purity and that connection to God inside of me that I've been reflecting outward the more I clear myself.
Now, I listened to one of your more recent episodes, Elena, and I got a very weird feeling about one segment where you were talking about something making noise above your bed. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Did you? What did you hear? Because I didn't go back
hear
and
anything,
listen
but
to
I got
it.
a very strong sense, and you may not like this, but I was like, "Oh my God, it's a gargoyle." Now, I don't know much about gargoyles. I've been meaning to look it up, but
I don't either.
For some reason, I just, you know how when you get these things where you just know something and you're like, you get a sense of things.
Right.
I was like, oh dear God, she has a gargoyle. So I don't know.
That does make sense.
Does it?
It makes sense in a weird way. I need to start researching that now, but I'm so grateful that it's not a rat, just to be honest. I thought it was a rat.
So you'll be happy if it is a gargoyle. Okay, good.
I'd rather it be a supernatural creature that I can deal with one way or the other versus it being a rat where I don't have a 3-story ladder to get on the roof and get rid of a rat's nest, right?
What is the building like? Is it an old building or is it a newer structure?
It's maybe made in the 80s or mid-80s.
Okay.
It's a row townhouse, and our little streets are teeny tiny. You can only fit like 1.5 cars down a lane. And so there's like little streets. There's like maybe 10 streets laid out. And I'm at the very farthest one, so I'm next to the river. My bedroom window looks over this beautiful little creek, and across the way I see cows, and there's a bull just out like in a pen. He's just walking around with his horns and everything, and you know.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, actually.
It's actually really nice, and it's like just a little brick townhome, and it's all Ecuadorians. I've never met anybody from from any other country at all. I can't say my country, but like Canada, North America. We are the only people not Ecuadorian in this little gated community.
Oh, wow. So you're immersing yourselves in the culture there. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, we're in coronavirus, so I mean, not as much as we'd like to.
Yeah.
Our neighbors are really cool, though. I'm in a group where I get regular updates of what the group is doing, and one lady's making slippers for children, and other people are making cake or Jello, and hey, I'll sell you 3 for $1. You know.
Well, it's funny how this tragedy is kind of bringing smaller communities together in a way where you maybe will get to know your neighbors a little bit better, things like that.
Right. So I wanted to ask you, let's get back to this Merlin thing, because Merlin fascinates the hell out of me. Now, I don't know if you caught the interview I did with Jude DeKoff, who has the Starseed perspective. He's also Starseed, and he is my near twin flame. He's one of them anyway.
Oh, cool.
And I know he's not my twin flame. He's very, very gay, and there's no way. Although I've always been attracted to gay men because, you know, I have a broken picker.
Or maybe you want what you can't have.
You know, maybe,
you never know.
you know, and I've even had situations where I absolutely had a massive attraction towards somebody, and I thought, well, he's gay, so he'd never be interested, and then find out a year later he's not, and had a massive attraction to me, but now it's too late.
So missed opportunities, right?
Because I think they're gay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I have a broken man picker. But anyway, I don't even know where it's going. So anyway, so I know that Jude is my near twin. And I think we came here in a cluster of 8 people, and I've kind of figured out who 6 of us are.
Oh, interesting. So you have like a really defined soul group, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's really odd. And we're all here at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have different aspects of spirituality that we're anchoring here. Like my near twin that I first met, he's very, very Christian. And so he's trying to anchor his spirituality from a Christianity standpoint. But other than that, he's asleep spiritually. It's like he thinks I'm crazy. I'm out of my damn mind.
Well,
but okay.
It's interesting to me because you've been on this esoteric path for, it sounds like, most of your adult life. Yeah.
Yeah, most of my life, even when I was a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, like for me, it's quite new. Like only within the last 2 years have I started identifying with certain things like the Pleiades.
Nice.
And getting back to the Merlin thing, I have been told that I was, in one past life, I was an apprentice in that society.
That makes sense. And I think he might have mentioned something about an apprentice when I was channeling him. He talked about how a lot of people in that community were magical. And he talked about the magic that was just a part of the common everyday culture in his little village. And that's what I was going to ask you, is what Jude had told me, what from his perception of this, is that we all came from a higher position, and we went deeper, lower into the 3rd dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way down to the very bottom, we went through a magical phase where magic was real. We could see dragons, mermaids, and fairies were visible to us, and there were unicorns. And his family crest, gayest crest I've ever seen in my life, we were laughing so hard about it. His family crest is literally of a unicorn.
I knew you were going to say
prancing, literally a prancing unicorn.
That's hilarious.
And he was like, yeah, of course I would have the gay, he's like, I'm a gay, the gayest possible family crest. And I love it. I'm like, that's so cool. But that proves to me that magic is real. And it proves to him that this magic is real. And he is an excessively powerful person. He's very, very, I'm sure his ears are burning. And I know he listens to every episode I've ever done. So I love you very much, Jude. But he is, he said this theory of his is that we go all the way down. We went all the way down. We went past that magical phase. And all of a sudden people started, like, we're rational thinkers now. We're science, industrial revolution, yada, yada, yada. And who the hell came up with all this airy fairy crap? None of it's real. And people don't believe it. And then all of a sudden we're coming back up. And as we're coming back up, all of a sudden, out of the corner of our eye, we're catching like spirits and fairies and gargoyles in the case. And going more up into this energy of, oh my God, magic is real. Would you look at the sky? It's all colors of rainbows. And look at my skin. It's all colors of rainbows. And now we're in the 5th dimension, and it's like, damn, I think he might be onto something. Yeah,
and we are, and like, I feel like we're just entering, or we've just entered into 5D.
Yes, me too. Like very recently, in the past couple months, and it wasn't solidified until kind of very recently.
Mm-hmm. And there's confirmation of that, and an example of that is, it was 5:55 my time locally when we set up this interview, and we were like, okay, let's nail this down, and it was 5:55 exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And I told you yesterday when I was ending my interview or my channeling of Paramahansa Yoganandaji, all of a sudden I looked at my tablet and it was 55 minutes and 55 seconds. And when I ended it completely, it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? Just 5:00. And I've never. When was the last time you looked at the clock and it was just said 00? That's so crazy,
Bizarre.
right?
Yeah.
It's always 5:01, 4:58. It's never 5 on the nose.
Yeah. It's happening to me like the last month. It's happened to me before that, but the last month it's like it'll be 11:11 every time I look, or 7:07, stuff like that, right?
Right. And mine lately has been 1:44.
Okay.
Or
4:44. Yeah, that one's happening for me too. Yeah.
And 3:33, also 4:33 or 3:44, the combination of those.
And I think it's confirmation for all of us that we're here at this time for a very specific reason. And, we're figuring it out as we go, but, we all have this sense that we have a purpose for being here.
Right. I just looked and it was 8:33.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta look, gotta be something. But and now it's 32:55 into it. So there's the 55 again. There's confirmations constantly, and it feels amazing. But so I think we are coming back up through that magical realm. But here we are in the 5D, but we're consciously here.
Yeah. So when we experience a bleed through, like, walking across a field with a staff and you're feeling like you're in two different times, I think perhaps it's just a reminder that we can use some of those old practices of bringing community together and apply them to our world today.
Exactly. So what kind of magic things do you feel like a connection to from that time? I mean, what, like potions, or did you work with spirits? What do you think you were working with?
I think with nature, very intimately with nature. So trees, being completely harmonious with nature and being able to blend in completely. Use only your hands or a stick if you get into hand-to-hand combat. But you would avoid violence at all costs, right? It would only be as a last resort.
Sure. Well, you're Canadian, so that's what I expect.
That's what everyone thinks, that Canadians are so passive. And you're right in a way. We are way too passive because we put up with a lot of junk from our government, but
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's passive. I just think it's sweet. It's like a kindness and a gentle energy. And, Americans, we need that energy, actually.
Yeah.
That powerful, like, we are solid, we are strong in our kindness and our gentleness energy. We need that because Americans, we're assholes. We know we are.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the greater majority of us, I think that we have that kind of a don't F with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's everyone.
There's a confidence. There's a real confidence about Americans, and I admire that.
Oh, okay. I like that that's a nice way to reframe it, the confidence, where I'm just like, we're just jerks, No,
I think it's just a surety about who you are as a people, and, freedom, baby, right? It's just freedom, baby.
Oh my God. You know what? I just, before we got on this call, I actually, I drew my card of the day for the collective, and it is the freedom card. Wow. It's in my hand right now.
Wow. You're holding it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I'm holding it, and it's a picture of a woman holding a white dove. And it's like, freedom is my vintage wisdom oracle card that I'm holding right now. I'm going to put it on my Instagram later.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's an interesting thing to pull. I mean, how much more of these lockdowns are people going to tolerate, do you think?
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm glad I live in Ecuador because I'm watching it from afar. I'm sending love and light constantly to like San Francisco and Los Angeles and Portland especially, and all the cities and all the people in the South and in Detroit, Chicago. I'm always like sending love and light and praying for people, but I don't want to be there because I'm scared. I mean, Trump is going to definitely lose. There's a man who's done a lot of predictions for 40 years, and he's never been wrong. And this time, Trump is definitely going to lose. Biden will win. And this guy's not political. He doesn't care either way. It has nothing to do with his own personal politics, but he has all these predictive factors that he scientifically came up with. But there's also the idea that he's not going to leave office. He'll declare martial law.
No.
He's already messing with everything. He's already taking the post. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the United States and seen those giant blue post boxes on the corners. The post office boxes. Where we could just go and mail, our mailboxes. We could just go mail, on the street corner. And he has removed them in all the states in which people would typically vote Democrat.
Are you serious? My God.
Yeah, that just happened in the past week or two. And it's still ongoing. And then he hired a guy that's on his side that has donated a lot of money to his campaign. He just made him Postmaster General.
Oh, no.
And so the Postmaster General, the new dude, has said basically anything that we receive after the day of the election, we're going to throw away, even if it was postmarked in time. And now he's also starting to delay all the mail.
Oh no! So he's trying to rig the election, basically. Yeah.
And he's out loud about it. I mean, they should have impeached him and put him in jail already. And the minute he's out of office, he's going to jail.
Yeah. That's awful.
I mean, there's no reason he wouldn't go to jail. I mean, I don't see Biden giving a pardon, but I mean, weird things have happened.
You don't think we'll see Kanye West as president?
I mean, I kind of feel a little part of me, a really tiny part of me, would love to see that, just because, I mean, the jokes, but I mean, maybe the acoustics in the White House are great. Maybe he could cut an album there.
I don't know, man. I mean, what do you do? I think if I were an American, I would be trying to find a third-party alternative, but I don't know. Right. I don't know how you do that in a two-party system.
I mean, for years I voted Green Party because I didn't believe in any the Democrats or the Republicans. I don't like their ideals. The Green Party, for me, it's about we don't really need a death penalty, and we definitely need a living wage, and we definitely need equal rights across the board. We need, Black people to be treated, not as second-class citizens, but to be, equal pay for equal work. Black men make less money than white women. That's crap, because white women make less money than white men at the same exact job. I mean, it's all just total BS.
Yeah. Well,
and everybody
it's a huge problem, right? And I think that the real way that we conquer these problems is just have respect for your fellow human beings, regardless of where they come from and what they look like.
Exactly. And it should be, I mean, to have all the statues, up for 200 years of people who owned slaves and who basically led a war against the federal government. Why were they allowed to keep up the statues?
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre.
That's a very basic level of respect that should have been heeded to eons ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bizarre that some of these practices have existed for as long as they have, and people are only just now waking up and saying, hey, wait a minute, this is very unfair.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people did see it all along, but no one listened to them, and that's also a problem.
Oh, hugely. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a very white town myself. We had maybe one black kid in our school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember, and same here. I remember we went on a bus tour to Canada. So that was our international singing tour, our choir at school. We just basically crossed the border and went to 2 tiny little towns, sang for these schools, and the high school kids there were throwing shit at us and making fun of us, and it was completely embarrassing. And then we went to Winnipeg, and we went to Winnipeg, and when we were in Winnipeg, I remember seeing this couple, and they were really good looking, and they were dressed in just really hot clothes, and he had like a black Trans Am, which was all the rage in the 80s, and I was like, damn, he's fine, she's fine, their car is fine, oh my God, these people got it going on, right? And I'm thinking, I wonder what they did to make their money, look at how gorgeous they are, and everybody went as fast as they could to the one side of the bus, and the bus almost tipped over because the sheer force of, holy crap, we have to look at this man. And I'm like, oh, he's sexy. Yeah, I'm like, he's sexy. It's me. Look at him, land. Look at that black leather coat, and damn, he's good looking. And they're like, no, well, is he wearing makeup? How is he so black? And I'm like, what?
Whoa.
And they're like, no, but we've never seen a black man. We thought that Cosby was wearing makeup and that wasn't real.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my God, they were so naive. And I'm like, holy crap, where the hell am I living, man? You know?
Wow.
Because I was from LA and moved to Minnesota, so I didn't come from that culture. And I'm like, what the hell? You've never seen a black person ever?
Yeah, well, and some of it is just naivety, like you said, right? People are always going to notice things that are different, and they'll say, oh, that person is different than me.
Yeah.
But as long as you respect people for people, then it's fine, right? It's fine.
Yeah, I think it was fine. It was just like, it shocked the hell out of me. They weren't racist. They didn't know anything from anything. Like, they were just like, oh my God, we've never seen somebody with that kind of skin. We didn't know if that was actually real. We thought it was a trick on TV with, makeup or something.
Well, the same thing would happen if a blonde woman walked into, into an Amazon village or something, and they'd never seen that before. They'd be touching her hair and ogling her and going, "Oh, what's that?" Right? Something totally different.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've been in an Amazon village, and I actually sold a bathing suit to a naked woman.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I did, and my son sold shoes to a barefoot man.
Wow. Okay, so they'll buy clothing from anyone who's passing through.
Yeah, they want to trade because they trade for necklaces, nice. Beads that they get for free. Jungle. Yeah, I don't mind that, and then they probably sell what they can and get money. But it was crazy. We took a 3-day slow boat down the Amazon River from Leticia, Colombia, all the way to Iquitos, Peru. And Iquitos is weird. I mean, in fact, Zac Efron was there in his show on Netflix. Iquitos is strange because you can only fly in and fly out or take a boat. There are no roads in and out, and that freaked me out.
Did it? You're like, I might get stuck here.
Yeah, and I mean, they have taxis there. How the hell did they get there? I guess by boat.
Yeah.
But we were going to try to take a boat a few more days down the river, but it was pirate season.
What does that mean? Pirate season.
Pirate season. Yeah, I mean, there's certain months where the pirates are more active, and they will board your boat and steal everything you have. And you're lucky if you get away with your life. But it's literally, there are Amazon River pirates. They actually exist. And so we were like, we should probably just go. And then from there, we flew to Lima. And a week later, the actual dock where we had docked our boat and got off and went, and we stayed in Iquitos for 2 weeks in the jungle. And I'll never forget. There's a fat little kid eating live grubs out of this big bucket. It was the most disgusting
thing. Yeah, they do that there, don't they? They eat stuff, anything. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just eating these grubs, and they were fat, and he was shaped like the grubs. He was as fat as they were. And I'm like, I looked at my kid. I'm like, you are what you eat. And I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Don't eat those. They're going to make you fat.
Yeah.
It was so gross, but I was just like, oh, I cannot come back down to the docks. I need to leave via airplane now, because it was overwhelming for me.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of cool things. The people in Iquitos were overcharging us for everything. I mean, $5 for 4 oranges was a little excessive.
Yeah.
Apples for a big huge bag of apples. I think they charged me $20. Everywhere else in South America, that was like, it'd be like 3 or 4. They said because the import taxes from the boats. I'm like, but everything grows in the jungle. Where are the mangoes and the coconuts and the pineapple that I know grow here?
Yeah. Yeah, they were hoarding them, I guess.
Yeah, right. Why are you importing apples and oranges when we could be eating mangoes, which are amazing?
Yeah, for like pennies, probably.
Yeah, that place was crazy. I needed to leave Iquitos. The rest of the jungles, like the villages and stuff, I loved meeting the people. I had wonderful experiences, but in the actual city of Iquitos, I felt freaky. Like I needed to get out of there.
Yeah, well,
but I needed to.
It's interesting how different places have different energies.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So you've noticed that too. I did a show on that last year. About the weird karmic energy of places.
Yeah.
Some places, just like Denver, has a neutral energy. You don't feel good and you don't feel bad. You just feel like you exist.
Oh, okay. Wow. So did you spend a lot of time in Denver?
About 3-4 days. I've never spent more than that, but that was the energy. And I talked to other people who were sensitive to energy, and they said the same thing. They're like, no, Denver is like kind of a neutral zone. It's like a balanced energy because it's right there, and it's like about 5,000 feet above sea level. So it's kind of a balanced, it's very odd.
Well, you've heard have you heard the story about the Denver airport?
Oh, I have. I landed there, and when I landed there, my friend picked me up there, and I'm like, I had to get off their plane and go down underground and get on an underground train to get to the other part of the airport, and it took like a half hour.
Wow.
Like, where the hell did we land? This is so insane.
Half hour away from the airport, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it was really freaky, and I have looked into the Denver airport. I have looked up YouTube videos on it because there's something strange going on there.
Well, maybe that's the energy you were picking up on. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because the art, they've put some really weird artwork on the walls, like people in gas masks, and it's all apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah, you know what? I think I've repressed it. I was really scared, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember going to the front of the train, and I don't remember seeing a person running the train. I'm like, what the hell? Like, and maybe there was, but I couldn't see it. And I was just like, this is creepy as hell. It was like we were in underground tunnels they looked like dirt tunnels somehow.
Weird.
But I don't really.
So unfinished tunnels.
Maybe I was there.
Well, the theory is, the conspiracy theory is that there's a whole underground city underneath the Denver airport.
Yeah, I would believe it.
You would, huh? Yeah.
I would. Yeah, I would believe it. I remember getting off that train and having to go up a series of escalators, and I think I had to go up several floors, and then I had to go back down another. Like, it was very strange. I'm like, what are we going over? We're walking up, or we're going up the escalator and then now down an escalator. why couldn't that not have just been flat? It made no sense.
Yeah, so it's almost like you were going around another structure or circumventing around some other secret area.
Right. And all the people were kind of like drones, like the way that they looked like kind of vacant stares all around me. It was freaking me the hell out. And I'm like, so do you guys travel often? They're like, oh yeah, I've been here a lot. Like it's, it's just no big deal. And I'm like, this is a very big deal. What the hell is this place? And no one warned me, by the way. So I get there and this is what it is. And now I'm getting on a train and I'm like, what the actual hell?
Wow. So zombies.
And
it sounds like you experienced like some walking zombies.
Yeah, it was really, really strange. And I went there to meet T. Harv Eker. I went to this place to his money seminar. It was free and amazing. I mean, I learned so much and it changed my life. And I get there and I asked them, so when is T. Harv Eker going to get here? And they said, oh, he never really does this anymore. He hires trainers that know his spiel and they do the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, but I know he's coming. And they said, no, he's not going to be here. I'm like, yeah, he is. And an hour later, there he was. And I looked she's like, I didn't know he was coming. And I'm like, I'm psychic, dude. I knew he was coming. Yeah. I came here to meet him and I did. And I met him.
Cool.
And it was like incredible. Yeah, for years I'd fall. And he's from Canada, by the way.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's from, well, at least, I think he is Canadian, but his parents lived in Florida for a time. And then he has a place up in British Columbia. And I remember one time I called over there and they said, okay, well, George Bush has just been elected. When can we expect that you will apply for a job here? And I'm like, what? You know what? I am tempted. Yeah, they said we just feel like anyone who follows our stuff probably don't want to be in the U.S. when he's the president. Don't. And I did send my resume to your government, actually.
Oh, okay.
I did. I'm like, I'm going to start the process just in case, and they were going to sponsor me and give me a job. And, I almost worked for T. Harv Eker because.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I was going to move over to BC, but I didn't do it because my husband didn't want to. And I had little kids and. Yeah. I'm like, we'll just tough it out here, damn it.
Well, I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? And, rejection, anyone who's dealing with rejection, I always say, well, if you just think of it as redirection instead of rejection, then it's a little easier to handle.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's absolutely true. If it's not meant to be for you, it's not going to be.
Exactly.
So I don't know, these bleed over things. I'm thinking the bleed through energy, it's something we are attracted. It's like the opposite of rejection. It's coming towards us.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it's happening for more and more people. Like I'm fascinated with how many people are experiencing bleed throughs and they're connecting with the starseed ideas more than ever. All kinds of new age things are coming through for people.
I agree. I mean, more than ever, it's becoming more accepted. And now there's UFOs everywhere too, by the way. Yeah. So people are like, maybe there's something to this starseed thing because they're coming home.
Yeah.
Or they're, maybe they're bring us home. I don't know.
I don't know, but I get the strong feeling that they're here, and I like to think that they're here to help. But then again, there's different factions. I think there's also a battle going on.
I'm not sure about that. It might be, I don't know anything about it, and none of my ETs that I channel have mentioned that.
They haven't. So, yeah, interesting.
You'd think that Michael Sherhan would have mentioned it.
You would think.
Ashtar,
You would think.
But some people channel him and they talk about it all the time, and I wonder if they're not just playing out drama in their own mind about a war, because that's a 3D polarity idea.
It's a very human thing to have wars.
Yeah, exactly. What else can you do, right?
We can have peace. Why not try that for a couple hundred years?
And by the way, when you said the word peace, we're at minute 55 and 55 seconds.
I noticed that.
Yeah, by the way. So, I mean, again, with that.
Hey, it's not that hard. It's probably a lot easier for us. And maybe that's why we're going through all this turmoil, is just so that we all just wake up and say, this is stupid. Let's just, let's just make it easy for everybody. Why not?
I mean, life could be super simple. It really could be.
It really could be, but we complicate things with war and competition and, battles of one-upmanship, when really we could just be like, hey, just easy going, man. Love.
Right. I mean, we could all just be growing food in our yard and going, hey, I got extra zucchini. Do you have an extra cabbage? And let me give the guy down the road some eggs from my chickens. I mean, that we don't need money. You know what I mean? We could just do everything for free.
Abundance is free. I actually have a video on YouTube on my channel that's called Abundance is Free.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I love that.
And the myth of scarcity, because scarcity is a myth that is created by the elites.
Okay.
And they do that to divide and conquer, right? It's all about dividing and conquering.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I believe that for sure. All right. Well, we're coming up at the end here. So is there any last thoughts you wanted to put out there?
I'm very grateful for everything that's happening.
Awesome.
The beautiful skies, all the connections that are happening. People in the esoteric community are connecting like never before.
Oh, I agree. I'm so glad that you reached out to me. We're becoming friends, I think, and I love that.
Oh, definitely. I consider us friends. Thank you, Elena, for having me on again.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And thank you for having me on your show as well. It's pretty cool. Cosmic Forever, guys.
Check me out. Yeah, I'm out here. Okay. Have a great night.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, you too. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome, hon.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my interview with Tim. Sometimes I think we got a little bit of a time delay, so we kind of talked over each other. It always happens with Anchor, although this was the clearest interview I have ever actually done. So pretty cool stuff there. He's a pretty cool person. I've been following him on Instagram for a couple months now, and I love his metaphysical and cool style. He's always sending me pictures of the clouds near his house, and he always has very, very interesting clouds. A lot of ETs. I've seen Arcturian cloaked ships in his clouds, which I can't believe we didn't even talk about that. So we're going to have Tim come back on, and we'll talk about that. Especially with his starseed connections, I think there's something to that. And also, what about that gargoyle idea? Ooh, I mean, I heard something land pretty hard on the roof a couple times since during the interview, and I just heard something now. And even when, as soon as I was done with the interview, I heard something land on the roof, and it's loud. I mean, a rat does not make that sound, and the birds I've seen here are pretty tiny. So, and I know I do have my dragons with me, and I love them very much, but I don't see them, and I've never heard them land like that. I don't know, guys. I gotta check it in. Or check it in? No, not check it in. Check it out. I've never said check it in. I've heard of check-ins, but never, and check-outs, and check it out, but check it in. What? I think I just made up something. And I'll have to determine what that actually means at a later date. But I might have a gargoyle, guys. It's not entirely a bad thing. I think gargoyles, I think they protect you from evil, actually. So I'm going to have to figure out, I might have to do a show on gargoyles now, and I think I have to say thank you to Tim because, oh my gosh, what a great idea for a show. Haven't thought about that at all. So, all right, well, that's it. That's been another episode. I can't even speak. Anyway, that's been another episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have donated money to me for my birthday. Yay! A couple of you have done that. So thank you so much. Thank you to Kyle, and a few of you have ordered the birthday special and thrown in a few extra bucks on top of it, which I completely I'm thrilled about. So thank you. I love that. My normal readings are 111, but this month only through the 31st, so we're coming down to the wire. My readings are $88, and if you want one, the best way to contact me is to direct message me at Mermaid Girl 888 on Instagram. That's just literally been the easiest way lately. Or you can PayPal me on, it's mermaidgirl888@gmail.com, and you can if you do that, then I'll contact you and go, so you can put a message in the PayPal thing as well. If it's a donation, or if you're just like going, hey, I need a reading, and there you go. So, but I did want to say thank you to all of you for the birthday wishes. I've gotten more all day today again, and it's just so nice to be loved, and I love you guys very, very much. So thank you so much for your continued faith and confidence in the show. Thank you to those of you who are telling your Facebook spiritual groups and your starseed groups, your UFO and yoga groups, and all your basically metaphysical and spiritual groups. I'm so grateful that a lot of you have started to do this, and also for telling the people on your Twitter and your Instagram feeds, because my numbers are growing suddenly out of nowhere. For the past week or two, my numbers have grown, and I'm trying to get to a level where I can actually support my son and myself. It's starting in October. I will not have an income, so I am so grateful to those of you who are helping me to replace my income with my passion, which is this show, of course, Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And it is what it is, but I'm really grateful that it's growing. It is helping us quite a bit. Anyway, I am planning to really quickly get the card of the day on my Instagram feed for today. Again, the card was Freedom from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle cards. So hopefully we'll get that up really, really quickly, and you guys will get to go see that. And this is a card that's for the next 24 hours. So whenever you see it, if it resonates, then it's meant for you. If it does not apply, well, let it fly. Anyway, well, that's it. I'm signing off now. I've got to go. I need to go and relax a bit. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing really well. And again, I love you. Thank you for being on the spiritual ascension journey with me at this time. It is significant that we're all incarnated together at this time, at this moment, because we are literally making history. And with that thought, I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Happy August, guys. I wanted to extend to you my birthday special. I was born this month and I wanted to do something for you guys. Normally, my readings are $111 for a tarot reading or a psychic mediumship reading. That means I can basically help you talk to any of your deceased loved ones, your higher self, even God himself, or any of the ascended masters that you've always wanted to have a conversation with. What you need to do is just contact me at mermaidgirl888 on Instagram. Just direct message me and let me know you're interested in having the birthday special $88 reading. That is $33 less than my normal price. And as always, my cloud readings are also available at $33. So there you have it. Happy August. I look forward to hearing from you.